Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is The Way. The Mandalorian Season 3 isn't just about Grogu, Mando, Bo-Katan, the Darksaber. We're in the middle of a big rally for the Empire, and they've just revealed what Thrawn and Moff Gideon's grand plans are, not just in Season 3, but in the larger sense, going into future seasons and all the other connected shows like the Ahsoka series. So we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, I'm doing videos for all the episodes. Be sure to subscribe to get them. Just starting with Thrawn and Moff Gideon's plans during Season 3. Currently, Thrawn is still unseen. There have only been Easter eggs for him, and Moff Gideon is still being held in a deep, dark New Republic prison, which Giancarlo Esposito called a gulag. The recent episodes of The Mandalorian had those former Imperials joking about the official New Republic cover story they told everyone on the Galaxy Newsnet.
I heard he escaped en route to the War Tribunal.
No, that was just the cover story. I heard they hooked him up to a mind flayer.
They claimed people believed Moff Gideon had escaped en route to the New Republic War Tribunal after they captured him in The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8, when really what happened is the New Republic bypassed his War Tribunal and took him straight to the Star Wars version of Guantanamo Bay, where they've been interrogating him using similar mind flayer technology we just saw Elia Kane using on Dr. Pershing. And the New Republic has been trying to get all the information that he has on the remnants of the Empire, other forces that have been hiding in the Outer Rim, the Empire's secrets, or remnants of the Empire, however you want to think about them. They seemingly don't know about Thrawn yet. Ahsoka is the only person that we've seen that actually realizes that Thrawn has returned. So the New Republic is currently torturing Moff Gideon just like he used to torture prisoners. It's meant to be ironic since he was about to do the same thing to Grogu in Season 2. Now he's the one in that position. That's kind of why in the recent episodes, they wanted to make the New Republic seem kind of shady too, like they were doing things just as bad as the Empire used to do. Giancarlo Esposito just revealed we're supposed to get our first look at Moff Gideon during Season 3, Episode 5. He didn't say what he'd be doing, only that he wouldn't actually appear on screen till Episode 5, but he's currently rotting in a New Republic prison, waiting for his and Grand Admiral Thrawn's forces to break him out of prison. That was the reason why he was laughing at Mando, Bo-Katan, and the rest of them for most of the Season 2 finale, most of it, because he was a little surprised at how quickly Luke Skywalker sliced through his Dark Troopers like they were hot butter. The reason why he wasn't worried when they attacked him, like, haha, you think you've caught me, but you've done nothing, was because he and Grand Admiral Thrawn had contingency plans for this, for the New Republic, the Mandalorians, just anything that could threaten their grand plans. So when they were attacking Moff Gideon here, Mando, Luke Skywalker, and the others weren't just dealing with Moff Gideon. And by defeating him, taking his cruiser here, they didn't completely defeat the remnants of the Empire. This was just a small fraction of their forces. Because during that Ahsoka episode in Season 2, we learned that Moff Gideon had been working with Thrawn for years.
Where is your master? Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Ahsoka asking Thrawn's minion where he was meant to show that Thrawn had been back in the regular galaxy, hiding in the Outer Rim, working with Moff Gideon, the 7th Fleet, for years. So Mando and the others really only temporarily sidelined a very small portion of the Empire's forces. This is one of the reasons why you didn't see Moff Gideon having his own Star Destroyer during Season 2. His ship was a much smaller cruiser, way fewer TIE fighters and other ships as well. A lot of people confused about that at the time too, like isn't he supposed to be a Moff? Shouldn't he have a bigger capital ship like a Star Destroyer and more forces? Well, they do have more forces, we just didn't see them during Season 2. It's because their larger forces rested with Thrawn and his 7th Fleet. We saw a small portion, very small portion of that during The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 3, when the TIE Bombers, the few squads of TIE Interceptors, swarmed Bo-Katan and Mando, destroying her ancestral home on Kalevala. All the big ships, their real power, the Star Destroyers, the fleet of TIE Fighters, that's Thrawn's 7th Fleet, and they've largely kept those hidden up to now, and it seems like only Ahsoka knows they exist, because she's the only person so far who's actually commented on Thrawn. Everybody else, the New Republic, currently is just thinking about Moff Gideon, but he's only half of the equation. And right now, Elia Kane is acting as a double agent for Thrawn on orders to infiltrate the New Republic by pretending she's a good citizen, living up to the standards of their amnesty program, pretending like she's been rehabilitated by throwing Dr. Pershing under the bus. Like, would I really be working for the Empire if I helped you take down one of my former co-workers? As she eats that Imperial biscuit, like, oh yeah, she's definitely evil. The reason she did this to Dr. Pershing is to try and win her way closer to where they're secretly holding Moff Gideon, so the New Republic will trust her enough to allow her to get closer to where Moff Gideon is being held. So she can then break him out of prison and they can return to Grand Admiral Thrawn and their larger forces. And largely that's Moff Gideon and Grand Admiral Thrawn's plans during Season 3, just breaking Moff Gideon out of prison, then marshaling their forces, the 7th Fleet, and preparing for a larger strike in The Mandalorian Season 4 and the Ahsoka series. The Ahsoka episodes will come before The Mandalorian Season 4, so I'll explain how the Thrawn storyline will continue during that. During Ahsoka, the story is more about Ahsoka physically locating Thrawn, the 7th Fleet, Ezra Bridger, and them having their first actual confrontation on a smaller scale. Ahsoka will be traveling with the crew of the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. Pretty much all the characters who were still alive in this part of the timeline are coming back from Rebels in live action, like Sabine Wren, Ezra Bridger, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing a version of Hera. They're also doing her son with Kanan, who is Force sensitive. Maybe he'll begin training in the Force too, like Grogu has started training again in the Force. They're also doing a live-action version of Chopper. We'll get a tease for Thrawn and the 7th Fleet during The Mandalorian Season 3 by the end of the season. There'll be a larger battle where we'll see them on screen in some way, but we'll see them in a much bigger way during the Ahsoka series. The pacing is kind of like what we saw during The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 with Moff Gideon, where we really only saw him at the end of The Mandalorian Season 1, then he became a much bigger character during Season 2. That's kind of how they're treating the Thrawn character, where we learn about him during Season 3, but he becomes a much bigger character in future seasons after that. In a larger sense, like talking about all the seasons of The Mandalorian, however long it runs, all these connected shows, Thrawn and Moff Gideon's grand plans are meant to be an adaptation of the Heir to the Empire Thrawn storyline, with a few characters swapped in and a few minor story changes. Like during that storyline, they had a Jedi cloning plot, but it was a Luke Skywalker clone and a clone Jedi Master, Joruus C'baoth. On The Mandalorian, Grogu is getting that storyline. I don't think they're building up to Grogu fighting an evil clone of Grogu. Dr. Pershing's whole speech about combining the attributes of different genomes to create superior clones was them revealing Thrawn and Moff Gideon wanted to create Force-sensitive, ultra-powerful clone troopers that they can control like finger puppets. Mostly because clones were easier to control than regular stormtroopers. We're seeing a version of that play out on the Bad Batch episodes with the Mount Tantiss storyline, which is also from the Heir to the Empire Thrawn storyline. Like I said, they're adapting the Heir to the Empire trilogy, just doing it in live action and through the animated series. The animated series are also meant to be canon, if that wasn't clear. There's a little bit of confusion about that because a lot of people only watch the live action Star Wars series, but Dave Filoni does the animated series. All those are meant to be canon. So that's why when the animated characters from those series show up in live action, all their backstories are the same as they were during the animated series. But this is the other reason why the Empire, Moff Gideon, and Thrawn wanted all the Mandalorians' Beskar, why they took Mandalore to begin with, because they want to use the Beskar to upgrade all these advanced clone troopers' armor. It would make their army nearly invincible in this part of the timeline, an army of Force-sensitive clones in nearly indestructible armor. But even with all their modern cloning technology and advancements that they've been teasing on the Bad Batch since the prequels, growing all those new clones would take years, which is why Thrawn has been biding his time hiding in the Outer Rim this whole time. Currently, while he's trying to break Moff Gideon out of prison with Elia Kane's help, he's also trying to prevent any other forces that could challenge him while this is all playing out in the background. Which is why he was just trying to kill Bo-Katan and Mando. Now, he was mostly trying to kill Bo-Katan there. He only cares about Mando because he has Grogu. Like, he really cares about Grogu. They want to get him back so they can continue their cloning experiments. The reason why Thrawn tried to kill Bo-Katan is because he believes she's one of the few people that actually has a chance at uniting the Mandalorian factions, and if the Mandalorian clans were able to unite, they'd be able to challenge Thrawn's 7th Fleet. That's why he wants to stop that before the Mandalorians can come together. He wants to keep them all fighting each other so they're too busy to fight him. He also doesn't want them to retake Mandalore and gain control of the Beskar mines again. That's one of the reasons why Mandalore was so important to the Empire and now to Thrawn in present day, and why they executed the Great Purge. Because the Mandalorians wouldn't capitulate to the Emperor and give him access to all their weapons technology in Beskar. So this is why The Mandalorian Season 3 has been all about the different factions coming together on their side of things. We'll probably see a bigger teaser for that at the end of the season. That's what the entire Mythosaur plot is leading up to. Bo-Katan eventually revealing the living Mythosaur to all the different Mandalorian factions so they all believe the way that she started to become a believer again. The Mythosaur isn't just meant to be a symbol of Bo-Katan's redemption, it's meant to be a symbol for the redemption of all Mandalorians, all these different groups. That's why the armor told Bo-Katan that the Mythosaur belonged to all Mandalorians, it was a symbol of all Mandalorians. So the early theory is that all these Mandalorian factions will see the Mythosaur by the end of the season, and it'll be one of those huge rally moments where they all cry out, "For Mandalore!" and go out on a high note. But also, at the same time, Thrawn and Moff Gideon doing the same thing on their side, they also rally in a huge escalation on both sides, pushing into the Ahsoka episodes in The Mandalorian Season 4. So even though we're in Season 3, Jon Favreau has teased that this story will continue for many seasons, like The Mandalorian will continue for a long time, all these other spin-off shows, which is why it seems like things are moving along so slowly. My full Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 5 video will post this week after they release it. I've got a couple other bonus videos I'm working on. If you have any other questions about what's going on with Thrawn, Moff Gideon, the other characters like Grogu, his Force training, just write them below in the comments. Everyone click here for that Season 3 Episode 5 video. I'll update the link as soon as I post that, and click here for all my other Mandalorian episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. This is The Way.